5th క్లాస్ EVS SCERT న్యూ మోడల్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్ లెసన్ ప్లాన్ ఈ వీడియోలో చెప్పడం జరిగింది. ఈ వీడియో మీకు నచ్చినట్టయితే నా ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి అండ్ లైక్ చేసి షేర్ చేయండి. క్లాస్ 5th క్లాస్ సబ్జెక్ట్ EVS, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద స్కూల్ MPP స్కూల్ గోననపేట, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద టీచర్ CH తిరుపతిరావు. యూనిట్ టాపిక్స్ పీరియడ్స్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ప్లస్ వర్క్ బుక్, టైమ్ ఫ్రమ్ టు అండ్ అదర్స్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద కాలమ్స్ ఫర్ లెసన్ ప్లాన్. యూనిట్ నేమ్ Chapter 2, Climate Change. Topics: what is a climate? Climate change, earth warming, effect of climate change 1+1, plastic concept and global warming effects 1+1, green world, deforestation, voice of people, Chipko movement 1+1, festivals are eco-friendly, eco-environment 1+1, what we have learnt, project work 1+1, evaluation and remedial teaching 1+1. మొత్తం 6+6 12 పీరియడ్లో ఈ లెసన్ ప్లాన్ రాయడం జరిగింది. అలానే రాయమని మనకి టీచర్ హ్యాండ్ బుక్లు ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. ఇక్కడ మీరు డేట్స్ అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకుని టైంని ఫ్రమ్ టు విభజించుకొని రాస్తారు. లెర్నింగ్ అవుట్కమ్స్: పీపుల్స్ విల్ బీ ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్, ఐడెంటిఫై ద కాజెస్ ఫర్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్, adopt eco-friendly activities in their daily life, understand harmful effects of plastic. These are the learning outcomes for climate change lesson. Next one, introduction. Hi children, how are you today? I asked to children more questions about the lesson. Do you like rain? Where does the rain come from? Do you dance in rain? What happens if we do not get rains timely? These are the questions for interaction. Next, then I explain the answers to them with water cycle chart. This is the chart of water cycle like this. I show this for interaction. I explain them to understand the changes in the climate. We must know about climate and its impact. Then I introduce the lesson name of climate change. This is the lesson. Experience and teaching learning process. I interact with children with introduction question and announce the lesson. I read the story of Karthik and his father and I explain the conversation between them. Then I ask some questions to children. What happens if we do not get rains timely? What happens if it rains during the harvest time? I interact with more questions. I explain the answers to children. I explain them to what is a climate. I explain them to seasons with beautiful pictures. Summer, Vasavikalam, winter, Sitakalam, rainy season, Varsakalam. I explain them to what is climate change and effects of climate change. I explain them to climate change effects. Because of climate change, we do not get timely rainfall, which leads to drought, heavy cyclones, tsunamis due to climate change. Third one, melting of ice at polar region due to climate change. Fourth one, the water in the sea is getting warmer, which leads to the death of aquatic plants and animals. These are the effects of climate change. I explain the words of floods, melting of ice, forest fires, drought with flashcard of images. I ask some questions below to them. Did you use plastic? Which items were made by plastic? Plastic is good or bad? Are you ready to avoid plastic? These questions for interaction to children. And I explain those answers and disadvantages of plastic. And I ask them to don't use plastic. I explain many situations plastic is harmful and dangerous to nature. I ask them to, what will you do if we don't have plastic? I explain disadvantages of plastic and I ask them to don't use plastic. I explain them to global warming concept. The earth we live is warming up day by day, which is called global warming. And I explain them to, do you know concept about global warming? I create awareness to children about climate change and I want to stop pollute the climate. I explain them to concept of green world. Forests are the lungs of the earth. భూమాతకి అడవులు ఊపిరితిత్తులు. I explain the deforestation. Cutting down the trees in forest is called deforestation. I explain the children to what good habits to nature and bad habits to nature with beautiful pictures. I explain the concept of voice of people, the Chipko movement with reading and showing pictures. These are the reading concept and showing picture concepts. I explain the what is compulsory duties we follow for eco-friendly environment. Use steel glasses bottles, cloth bags, don't waste white papers, grow a kitchen garden, avoid chemical colors, separate garbage into dry waste and wet waste, switch off lights and fans when leaving the room, and save water. And say the slogan, save earth, save nature, save water and save power, electrical power. I guide them to celebrate the festivals eco-friendly, avoid burning crackers, use recycled material, use banana leaves, use natural colors. I explain them to eco-friendly situations and not eco-friendly situations by showing pictures. And I give slogan, save the nature, save the future, save the trees, save the lives. I evaluate them and take action for slow learners. Next one, activities, teacher activities, group activities, individual activities. Teacher activities. I read the lesson and ask them to read after me. I explain them to what is the climate and changes effects of climate. I show flashcards of floods, droughts and explain them. I explain them to how pollute plastic the nature and ask them to avoid plastic. Student group activities. I divide children into two small groups and ask them to say good or bad habits about nature in groups. I give flashcards in groups, eco-friendly, not eco-friendly. I ask them to divide two groups of flashcards. I give project works in groups, collect plastic items in surroundings. I ask them to say how celebrate festivals is eco-friendly or not eco-friendly. Individual activities. I ask them to read the text individually. I ask them to say answers according to my questions individually. I ask them to write workbook answers individually. I ask them to every individual student to which plastic items do you use at home daily? They respond and know the disadvantages of plastic. These are the activities. TLM, climate change flashcards, eco-friendly images, save nature slogan cards. Questions, factual, what is the climate? What is global warming? Open-ended, what are the disadvantages when we didn't get rain? Practice questions, collect plastic items, write disadvantages of plastics. Next one, evaluation. We evaluate while learning and write that process in this column. Next, signature of the teacher, visiting officer with remarks, signature of the HM. This is the process of lesson plan of climate change. This is the chart of water cycle. Please subscribe my channel and watch the description for PDF link.